أعوذ بالله. I seek refuge in the name, the power, and the might of Allah, the Sublime, from the evil accursed Lucifer, devil, Iblis, Shaitan, in all of his capacities, in all of his abilities, and all of the contributions from the allies of the Iblis, whether they are local, whether they are non-local alike, those that are within blood ties and those that are next of kin and those that are not. In Allah alone, we are beseeching and supplicating for His everlasting aid and everlasting gratitude for that in which He has endorsed of this Quranic effort by the means and mercy of His two ambassadors, one to mankind and the other through the angel Jibril. Peace and blessings and salutation be among them all, meaning his attaches, particularly, specifically the Jibrili Brigade, the Badrin Brigade, the Suleimani Brigade. We send everlasting and supplicate to our Creator and our Maker to convey our salutations to the mercy of humanity, the selected one, the father of the servant of Allah and the son of the servant of Allah, the one who is in the state of everlasting salutation, the one who is everlastingly being sent salutation upon, that is Muhammad Ahmad Abu Abdullahi Ibn Abdullahi Ibn Abdullahi. The servant is Abd. The attribute is to Jalla Jalaluhu. It is the Ismullah al-A'zam, Allah, Abdullah. And to the end of his life, alayhi salatu wassalam, he chose from the advice and by the advice and during that moment when he is given the choice whether to live for eternity because he had completed and he had conveyed the message as he was the trustworthy one, he was the selected one, he was the one who was in everlasting state of praise. Muhammad, peace and blessings and salutation be upon him. All of the preceding prophets and messengers prior to him and all of their aides, the People's Republic of the Shahadatu Allah ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu, are from the very foundation of humanity. La ilaha illallah. None is worthy of worship save the Creator, and Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was his messenger, his slave, and clearly at the end of his life he was given the choice whether to remain on earth until the end of time and receive that in which is the kingdom, the title of king. And of course, he would not get sick any longer. He would not be in the state of illness anymore. Instead, he turned that down and he submitted to what Allah Jalla Jalaluhu had already decreed. If he wanted, he would have asked Allah to change that decree. If he wanted, because Allah gave him that option through another angel, and Jibreel alayhi salatu wassalam is there with him, and he insinuates to go with the choice that is to submit as Abdullah, the servant of Allah. And looking carefully and clearly, that is the only way anyone of us who say that we believe in our Creator and Maker to accept and to embrace the truth, the entire truth, the message and the entire message. Not partially, not sometimes, but continuously, and do so with honor and dignity, because we are his ambassador today, because we believe in him alayhi salatu wassalam, although we did not witness him. And he said we are his siblings, and we accept that we are his siblings. And we have to make a few quick announcements on behalf of every branch of the mystical and spiritual Quranic revolutionary forces which declared the Quranic Revolution Declaration of 2021. I'm going to briefly state that thus far we have made significant progress on all frontiers, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. We can really thank all of those who have been part of the effort. But first and foremost, we have to remember to be very patient and very humble about the progress. We want to acknowledge the continuous embracement of the Quran from so many different walks of life today, just now waking up and understanding that the Quran is a guide, the Quran is a mercy, the Quran is a healing, the Quran is not a book of violence. The Quran is not a book of manipulating and bullying people. That's not what the Quran is here for. The Quran is not here to encourage war. The Quran is here to encourage peace. The Quran is here to encourage understanding. The Quran is not here to discourage understanding. So this Quran, which we have completed one hizb in terms of the, I don't want to say actual abstract. However, the actual abstract was from Surah Baqarah to Surah Tur. Now we happen to do the small surahs. Anyone who is interested, please reach out. And on both channels, I believe they are there. From Surah, we did Surah Al-Fatiha, Baqarah, first page, if I'm not mistaken. And from Surah Nas to Surah Al-A'la or Surah Tariq, if I'm not mistaken. Beyond that, we intend on pushing further. However, the stats definitely do show that enough constituents have been on board in terms of the article of mystical and spiritual forces to stand and to stand firm and to remain with Quran and Quran alone. The Quran is the best source to explain the Quran, the best clarity to explain the Quran. We all have to go back to our roots in order to understand our futures. Very important, B, that the continuation from whether it's Surah Al-A'la or it's Surah Tur will continue until at least we have one more hizb. So everyone who does not have such copy, but this type of copy is very preferred. We wanted to do introduction on each surah going forward, so that whenever there is one who has the book, they can follow along. If they don't have the book, then they don't have to follow along. They can simply listen to it, and then, as we had done in the past, we will continue to do in that form. So as long as you have Arabic Quran, which everyone should already have. The next thing is that the culture of the Quran is really important. Arabic culture is not necessarily Islam. Quranic culture is. So the Quran has its culture, and we all need to come to terms and understand that this was made clear during the Quranic declaration of Revolution of 2021. So we wanted to make that astonishingly clear. Also, there have been numerous questions as to our response and when it will come out pertaining to the Iblisi advances, Iblisi allies. We have from the global side, and we also again have from the lower end, local, if one may. We are preserving and reserving our response to the various Iblisi activity. We did want to make one brief statement, and this is from the retired Imam's office, EST 1997. And very important that IDF understands that their governmental system, which is always trying to undermine the authority of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, has made its case very clear to the world. And being that they refuse to abide by peaceful means to retire, then obviously they have chosen the latter. And we hate to say that Hizbullah means party of Allah. Nasrallah means victory of Allah. If you or whoever you think is allying and assisting you, I don't care who in the flat, United Snakes and all of that, what they have, you and all of what you have, whomsoever else, whatever else they have, you really believe that you can dilute and deceive the world to fight peace and win? Al-Islam, peace, is with Jesus. Real name is Yeshua. Many say they know him, but they don't know the man's name is Yeshua. You're discriminating against him by calling him Jesus. He wanted for everyone to be at peace. Moses, peace. David, peace. Abraham, peace. Noah, peace. Today you're saying you think you can encourage everyone to fight against it. That's why you don't only have the Arab world, but you actually have the Muslim world. And Malik Amana Muhammad promised by Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, the moment we take up Islam, you will not be able to subdue the party who does so, as Allah Jalla Jalaluhu promised, and we're happy to witness this. But IDF going and thinking that they're going to go north, IDF, I want you to listen very carefully. That's why I called you out 3 times with the retired Imam's office. Understand this, IDF. Militarily, you've lost. Why would you go somewhere after you've lost on the opposite side? You've lost in the south. You have no control there. You've lost even further south on maritime. You have lost a lot on the maritime section. Your allies are not able to protect you. 20 countries are not able to protect your interests in the Red Sea and so on. IDF, you want to go north and start another front there. But not just the fact that you think that you can defeat peace with force, but the fact that you think you can win over the party of the creator of all that exists, and you can make his victory a defeat when you already defeated over on the other end. We don't want any World War III anymore. That's what this is about. Just stop the war. It's not about protecting anybody anymore. You've been protecting and protected, and IDF already says and accepted that you cannot defeat. Instead, you keep throwing sand in the eyes of people, and your Supreme Court already wants to take all these conscriptions in who are of the religious sector. You know, the ultra-Orthodox. It's not correct, IDF. So, BB, you know, JN, just call it off. PM, Prime Minister, it's over. So we wanted to state that. The next thing we wanted to make very clear is that those lobbyists, those politicians who are making sure, or they think that they're making sure